And I'm back here on YouTube with another video where I'm gonna try to figure out how to make my own granulating colors. I saw that a lot of companies came out with this granulating, separating, very interesting mixes. And instead of buying more watercolor, I was looking through my binder of swatches, and I wanted to see what would happen if I pick my most granulating colors and mix them with some of the transparent staining colors. So come on with this journey with me. I have on the top row my most granulating colors is the cobalt violet from Winsor & Newton, permanent mauve from Winsor & Newton, some purpurite genuine from Daniel Smith, the Potter's pinks from Winsor & Newton, the lunar black Daniel Smith, cobalt blue deep from Winsor & Newton, and cobalt teal blue from Daniel Smith. And there are several cobalt teal blues that I have, but I noticed the Daniel Smith is the most granulating. So if you like that color, give it a try. If you tried other brands, just let me know which one is your favorite. So the first color I want to mix is the burnt sienna from Core. And I've noticed a lot of the granulating colors, it's either Daniel Smith or Winsor & Newton, and a lot of my staining colors is Core and a few of Daniel Smith. There we go. Hope my phone will focus, and I'm gonna start mixing and see what we get. Ideally, I would prefer a different kind of paper. This is just my sketchbook. It's one of those mixed media paper. Actually, I think it says watercolor, but I don't think it has any cotton in it. I think it's a Canson, but still you can see, especially with the lunar black, a nice granulating effect. So I'm gonna pause here for a second, make my mixes, and come back and show them all to you. And the first row, it's all painted. It might take a few more minutes to dry, but you can see how nice this burnt sienna from Core combines with all the granulating colors. I tried to put more of the granulating color on the top of the swatch and more of the transparent color at the bottom, so you can see a gradation of the mix. And this way you can figure out how much of the granulation color you need and how much of the staining color you need to get to the part in the mix that it's what you're looking for. I particularly like, and I didn't expect to get this green here, like the muted green with the cobalt teal and the burnt sienna, and I like all the specks of bright teal coming through. Yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna use this in my painting. I think more for abstract or landscape, but this is how they look. I was surprised of the cobalt violet and the permanent mauve. I didn't expect them to change the tone or the shade of the raw sienna much. I expected more of a granulation of the cobalt violet or mauve in a background of burnt sienna, so that was a good surprise. And then the purpurite genuine, I was the impression that it was some sort of violet color mixed with lunar black, since they have a similar pattern of granulation. My phone can focus, but the specks in the purpurite genuine, some of them are almost like a dark gray, and then the purpurite, that desaturated violet, stayed the same. And you can see here with the lunar black how different the granulation is. And of course, cobalt blue deep and burnt sienna, a classic combination. You get what you everybody knows who painted in watercolors. Next on our list, it's the transparent powder orange. It's a bright color, so I'm kind of excited to move more into the bright colors to see what kind of mixes we get. So here is spiral orange mixed with all the granulating colors, And again, the cobalt teal blue turned out to be one of my favorites. I didn't expect to get such a nice green, but I guess that's enough yellow in the parlor orange and mixed with the cobalt teal, which almost a blue, would give this nice combination. Yeah, the lunar black turned out really nice. Again, I don't know what I would use that color for, but it looks very interesting. The bright parlor orange shining through the granulation. And of course the violet, mauve, and the purpurite, and even the potash pink, they're more of a secondary, kind of tertiary colors. So I don't expect anything spectacular, any new colors. But just to see the granulation coming through, see how they pair together. If it's something interesting for you, yeah, this is the recipe for it. Next is gonna be permanent scarlet, and that's one of the core colors that I believe it was discontinued or is gonna be discontinued. It's a very beautiful red. I have this swatch right here. It's pigment PR168. I know a few videos on YouTube that they mentioned they bought these colors and there was something wrong with the binder or the pigment. But anyway, I still have this. I got it in a 24 color set and I'm pretty happy with it. I think I got a good one. So let's see how it swatches. So this is probably one of my favorite mixes so far, this permanent scarlet and cobalt teal blue. It's so interesting to see how these core colors have this property of pushing into the other pigment, kind of moving. I think it stopped now, but regardless, I was swatching this and I just had to stop and show you. Yeah, this is unexpected. I always think of cobalt teal blue more of a green than a blue, but then when I mix it with reds and I get this very nice violets, either more desaturated if my red is warm, like the case of the permanent scarlet, or more of a true violet if I mix it with pinker colors like Quinacridone rose or magenta. But these are the swatches for permanent scarlet, and it's with my choice of granulating colors. Definitely some interesting effects. My issue with this purpurite genuine is not necessarily with this mix, but with purpurite itself. It's very difficult, especially on this cheaper paper, to get an even layer. It tends to clump and then wash ashes out in unusual spots, so I have a trouble controlling that, but I'll have to try it on better paper. Definitely my favorite so far. This cobalt teal blue makes some very interesting mixes. Yeah, and then cobalt blue deep, that blue separation which we expect from a cobalt, almost like a ultramarine, like a granulating ultramarine. But that's all the colors so far, and of course as they dry they would look even more interesting. My next one would be the Quinacridone coral, and I hope I got the right swatch here. Quinacridone coral from Danny & Smith. It's a very unusual color in that it dries more warm than it initially layers down, so you can see the wet part. Try not to get the glare. It's closer. Well, the camera actually makes it look more warm, but this is my swatch. So yeah, that's definitely Quinacridone coral, and this is the Quinacridone rose. So that's gonna be next. So let's see what we get. And this is the completed mix of Quinacridone coral with my most granulating watercolors. And this cobalt teal blue, it's still drying, so you can see the pink still shifting around, and the cobalt has already settled into the paper. Same with this lunar black. So this is not the best paper for this for watercolor, but I just wanted to see what kind of shades was worth mixing, and where do I get the best effects. So the first three colors were all from Core, and of course we know Core likes to push other colors around. And this one, being a Daniel Smith, I guess it has a similar binding or property. And I really like how this Potter's pink turned out. Much even. You can see the granulation kind of spreading evenly. The same purpurite does its own thing, very concentrated, and then it kind of disappears. I noticed with the cobalt violet, the mixes have almost like a powdery quality to them. So I don't know if it's this Winsor & Newton cobalt violet, or other cobalt violets do the same thing. And of course the beautiful cobalt blue deep. I really enjoyed the granulation here. Maybe if you mix some of this on the palette and then apply them to the paper, you get a more even granulation throughout. But yeah, this kind of gives you an idea which one you like, which one you don't. I don't have a Rembrandt dusk pink color. I know it's very popular at this time. There's some videos there that kind of help you get closer to that, but I really like this coral, Quinacridone coral and lunar black. I like those dark specks coming through, and the color is still drying, so you might see it better on a later screen. So yeah, next Quinacridone rose. This and the opera pink, I'm expecting similar hues, but you never know with watercolors, so stay tuned. And now is Queen Rose and opera pink, and just like I expected, this two shades of pink gave me similar results. Of course, opera pink a little bit more bright, but overall very similar. So if you're worried about light fastness, you can stick to Queen Rose and keep the opera pink just for sketches or places where the light is not gonna reach your artwork. Very nice purples with our blues. I expected more interesting mix with the lunar black, but I guess because I like the Queen Coral so much, I think this is okay. And then of course my purpurite genuine mix, I really enjoy. It kind of desaturate purple with the pink. Potter's pink, so far not a fan. I don't know if it's because of I don't care that much for Potter's pinks, or it's just this Winsor & Newton shade that I don't like so much. I was very impressed with the Potter's pinks and the Queen Coral. They're right there in the middle, but that's probably just a lucky accident. The way I applied the color, it didn't get mixed too much, so I really enjoyed that. Potter's pinks almost disappears with this shades. And also permanent mauve, I really enjoyed how the color separated, and I think this is just what permanent mauve does best. You see right there, yeah, you almost have those white spots. And the way I painted, especially the last two swatches, just so it go a little faster, I just apply a layer of the staining color, and then I put the granulating color from top and slowly graduate it to the bottom. So this so far, yes, it's a nice color chart. It gave me a few ideas of what colors to mix that I would have probably not put together. The cobalt teal definitely surprised me, but it's a shade I like anyway, so it's good to know that it looks nice in the mixes. And the last two for this video is going to be the Queen Magenta and the Naphthalene Maroon. I'm expecting Queen Magenta to be closer to the Queen Rose and Opera Pink. The reason I included is because it's a core color, so we're gonna see some more of that moving action. And then the Naphthalene Maroon, the saturated color, we'll see how that's gonna play with our granulating colors. And the last on this page is the Queen Magenta and the Naphthalene Maroon. And I was very impressed with the Queen Magenta from Core and this Lunar Black. You can see it right here, the third box from the spine. Also, I liked these three, probably are my favorite. Not so much going on here. I think the shades of these violets are closer to this magenta, so they tend to disappear. The purple, right, you can still see it, but it doesn't do anything special for me. And then last one, the Naphthalene. So this maroon here, it was probably the mix that taught me the most about how to get the best results with granulating colors and staining colors. Naphthalene Maroon, it has a rather dark value, and most of the granulated colors tend to be lighter. And as you can see, I try to get as close as possible to the matte stone because I really like this particular shade. But then my granulating colors, and I can move the notebook a little bit here, they tend to disappear because most of the granulating colors have lighter values, except of course for this Lunar Black and even the Cobalt Blue Deep. It's definitely lighter in value than the Naphthalene Maroon. One option you have is to use a diluted or less concentrated color, like I finally figured out mixing with this Steel Blue, and I still get the nice Naphthalene Maroon, and you can see the granulation. Also, mixing it with this Cobalt Blue Deep, I really enjoyed almost like a dioxazine violet going on here, but the purpose was to get granulating colors, but you don't see much of that in the swatch unless you put a lot of water and you lose your actual colors. You get a lighter value. And then of course with the purples you won't see much going on, just like these splotches of colors where the granulating colors had settled, and the Naphthalene Maroon kind of goes nearby. It's nothing really going on. And the Potash Pink, maybe I didn't put enough Potash Pink. It was hard to see how much color I laid down. But yeah, this is Naphthalene Maroon mixed with granulating colors. Definitely a good exercise. The next colors I would love to mix, and I can show you here if you're interested. It might be in a future video. I have these yellows, Cenelia, Nickel, Azo Yellow from Core, and the Green Gold. I have a few greens, and this Phthalo Turquoise from Daniel Smith, some Phthalo Blue shade, and then Queen Violet and the Dioxazine Purple. Again, I'm expecting with this Dioxazine Purple to lose a little bit of the granulation effect because it's just a darker value that would cover up the specks. Although the Cobalt Teal Blue, being a heavy pigment, it can settle in and still shine, especially if I use a diluted color. Thank you so much for joining me back here on YouTube. I hope I'll make more videos and see you soon.